Interesting times, today's stories. Venezuela's High Court president condemns illegal coup attempt. Maduro claims total loyalty of Venezuela's military chiefs. Venezuela's Guaido says there's total rupture between army and Maduro. Guaido envoy says what is happening in Venezuela is not a military coup. U.S. Mike Pence tweets support for Venezuela's Guaido. Rwanda government to prosecute rebel leader Calix Nasibana. Zimbabwe begins exhuming victims of Mugabe-era massacre. Kosovo's Taci says there is no deal with Serbia without U.S. help. Head of WHO visits Congo following the murder of an Ebola doctor. UN agencies are worried about the situation in Mozambique post-cyclone. Plus, rescuers save pets in Canada floods, and Church of Christ members in Edmonton donate blood. Hello everyone, I am Lynn Pence, bringing you stories from around the globe, and this is Eagle News, Washington, D.C. Venezuela Supreme Court President Michael Moreno condemns over a phone interview with Venezuela State TV the quote illegal attempts by Guaido troops and civilians to oust President Nicolas Maduro.
Expreso mi rechazo contundente ante los ilegales intentos de un grupo muy pequeño de militares y civiles que buscan tomar por la fuerza el poder político de la nación en contra de la Constitución y las leyes vigentes del país.
Venezuelan opposition leader Juan Guaido announces that he had support from a group of brave soldiers in a video recorded at an Air Force base in Caracas and broadcast on social media.
Hoy, como presidente encargado de Venezuela, legítimo comandante en jefe de la Fuerza Armada, convoco a todos los soldados, a todos y a todas, la familia militar, a acompañarnos en esta gesta, como siempre hemos hecho, en el marco de la Constitución, en el marco de la lucha no violenta que hemos hecho en todo momento. Así que el llamado es aquí, en este momento, en la base aérea La Carlota, a acompañar este proceso del cese definitivo de la usurpación.
Embattled President Nicolas Maduro says Venezuela's military chiefs had assured him of their total loyalty after a group of soldiers rose up in support of opposition leader Juan Guaido. Maduro tweeted, "Nerves of steel, I have talked with the commanders of all the REDI and ZODI of the country who have manifested their total loyalty to the people, the Constitution, and the nation. I call for a maximum popular mobilization to ensure the victory of peace. We shall overcome." Venezuela's self-proclaimed acting president Juan Guaido claims total rupture between army and Nicolas Maduro, which contracts Maduro's claim that military chiefs and assured him of their total loyalty after a group of soldiers rode up to support of Guaido.
Vamos a todo el pueblo venezolano a las calles, a exigir y a continuar con la Operación Libertad, a continuar con el cese definitivo de la usurpación. Estamos esperando por los leales soldados de la paz, estamos esperando, sin duda alguna, por las Fuerzas Armadas. Hoy Maduro no cuenta con las Fuerzas Armadas, es evidente. Hay una ruptura total, lo vimos el 5 de enero, por cierto, en la cadena de mando.
Guaido envoy to the U.S. tells the international community that what is happening in Venezuela is not a military coup.
This is an operation which is developing right now. We will see more events in the hours and the days to come. I want to be very clear with the international community. This is not a military coup. This is a constitutional process led by the Venezuelan people under the leadership of a civilian, the interim president of Venezuela, Juan Guaido.
Meanwhile, U.S. Vice President Mike Pence tweets his support to Venezuelan opposition leader and self-proclaimed acting president Juan Guaido. Pence tweeted to @JGuaido, the National Assembly and all the freedom-loving people of Venezuela who are taking to the streets today in hashtag Operación Libertad, estamos con ustedes. We are with you. America will stand with you until freedom and democracy are restored. Vayan con Dios. Hashtag Free Venezuela. Coming up, Rwanda government to prosecute rebel leader Calix Nzimana. Zimbabwe begins exhuming victims of Mugabe-era massacre. Kosovo's Thaçi says there is no deal without Serbia without U.S. help. Head of WHO visits Dr. Congo following the murder of an Ebola doctor. UN agencies are worried about the situation in Mozambique post-cyclone. Plus, rescuers save pets in Canada floods. Eagle News, Washington, D.C. will be right back.
Hello, my name is Samantha Suarez and I'm reporting here from Gainesville, Florida. Behind me is the Florida Museum of Natural History, home to a butterfly rainforest featuring hundreds of butterflies from across the world. Do you know another place that has sites from across the world? Well, check out Digital Nest on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. And I am Juan with 25.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave some love by giving it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe here at ABC Digital Nest so you don't miss any of our upcoming features.
Abangan ngayong linggo sa Season 3 na Once Upon a Time, alas 8 ng gabi, dito lang sa Net25.
Welcome back. You are watching Eagle News, Washington, D.C. The Rwanda government said Tuesday it had arrested a rebel leader alleged to be behind a spat of deadly attacks in forested area near Burundi and the Democratic Republic of Congo. A government statement said Calix Sambimana is accused of forming an irregular armed group complicity in competing terrorist attacks, taking persons hostage, murder, and looting. Zambimana is the spokesperson for the National Liberation Front, or the FLN, an armed group which has claimed responsibility for numerous attacks in Nyungwe, a region popular amongst tourists coming to see endangered mountain gorillas. The FLN is affiliated with the Democratic Liberation Forces of Rwanda, or FDLR, a rebel group based in the DRC which carries out cross-border attacks on Rwanda forces. Sambimana has claimed responsibility for the attacks via social media, claiming that his rebel group's agenda was to topple long-serving President Paul Kagame. Rwanda officials declined to provide further details about the date of his arrest or when we will appear in court. Rwanda officials declined to provide further details about the date of his arrest or when he will appear in court. Minister of Foreign Affairs Richard Sezibera told a press conference Tuesday that they have had him for not for a long time and not for a short time.
Managed to have Sankara on his back. He's here in Rwanda, and he will face the courts, the justice system, to answer for his crimes. It's not only him, these others who are also doing so, claiming responsibility for killing Rwandese or publicly planning to destabilize our country, will eventually face the law. Those who have not yet been who have not yet been apprehended will be. So Rwanda is safe in terms of terrorism. We will continue to build the capacity to detect, prevent, and deter any terrorism or terrorist-related activities in Rwanda.
In December last year, Nsabimana claimed the responsibility for setting fire on passenger buses in Nyungwe Forest, which led to the death of 2 people and many injuries. The attacks in Nyungwe prompted many Western countries such as France, Germany, Canada, and Australia to advise their nationals against travel to the area. A Zimbabwe organization has started exhuming the remains of victims of a government massacre during former President Robert Mugabe's rule, which claimed some 20,000 lives. According to rights groups, Mugabe's regime deployed a North Korean-trained crack military unit to fight alleged descendants in parts of Matabeleland and Midlands provinces in the 1980s. The targets were mainly from the Ndebele ethnic group, perceived as backing a rival to Mugabe, who is from the majority Shona group. Mugabe did not publicly apologize for the crackdown codenamed Gukurahundi, which means the rain that washes away the chaff in Shona, except calling the killings a moment of madness. The remains of Thembi Wongya, aged 21 at the time of her death in 1983, were the first to be exhumed as part of a healing process promised by the government. According to the head of the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission, Wongya was gunned down with her husband while on their way to the local train station in Suotsho. Local villagers buried their bodies in a shallow grave near a railway line. A non-governmental organization called the Kutrula Trust exhumed Wongya's remains on Sunday for reburial at a date to be decided later.
The reburials, from my point of view, are a healing process. And the deceased had been buried in a rocky place and the grave was shallow. And in one case, the shin bone was protruding. The 2, this time it was 2, a man and his wife, were shot during the night. No, sorry, were shot in the evening, but it was dark then. And people were afraid to go and collect the bodies. According to them, the report we received, it was soldiers, colloquially known as Gukurahundi.
President Emerson Mnangagwa, who took over the Mugabe following a brief military takeover in 2017, was state security minister at the time of the killings. He called for open discussion of the Gukurahundi to promote healing. The National Healing Commission will hold hearings later this year to promote national healing. Kosovo's president said Tuesday help from the United States was necessary to resolve a bitter dispute between his country and Serbia, as Europe was too weak and divided. Taci's downbeat assessment came just hours after the summit closed, with the Balkan foes pledging to speed up efforts to implement existing agreements and to re-engage constructively in the normalization dialogue with the mediation of the EU. But for Taci, it's clear without US, nobody can move forward in Western Balkan.
It's clear. It's clear. Without US, nobody can move forward in Western Balkan. You know, example from Bosnia and Herzegovina, until US lead the process, what happened? Genocide. When they took the leading role, they find the solution, peace solution in Dayton. You know why? Because even yesterday, everybody feel that EU is weak and very divided. They had no spirit of leading such of sensitivity and very credible process and very difficult in the same time. US, they had capacity, they work fast, better, and they had leadership. No one until now, just US and President Trump, they sent, in the letter they sent us, to me as President of Kosovo and President of Serbia, it looks they had ideas, and we can find the solution for the final agreement in the substance and the framework of these letters.
Thaci pointed out to a letter U.S. President Donald Trump sent to him and Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić, saying that it looks like they, the U.S., have ideas and we can find a solution for the final agreement and substance in the framework of this letter. In comparison, Thaci said last night's summit, which ended in the early hours of Tuesday in Berlin, had brought nothing new to the table. The head of the World Health Organization visits the team battling against the Ebola outbreak in Butembo, Democratic Republic of Congo, following the murder of a Cameroonian doctor, Richard Valerie Mozoko Kumbong. Deployed by the organization, Kumbong was shot dead on April 19th.
The demise of Richard really shocked all of us.
Le décès de Richard nous a choqués nous tous.
And I know how you feel.
Et je sais ce que vous ressentez.
He was only saving lives.
Il était en train de sauver des vies.
And nothing else.
We are concerned that the security situation should be under control so that we make more progress. We are absolutely determined to remain here, and I was very encouraged by the very clear commitment expressed by all our colleagues who are here to continue with this fight. I was really very touched by their commitment, by the fact that despite the pain that they have lived through, they cheered up, they were encouraged by our presence, and they're determined to go forward. So we will be here until this epidemic has been put to an end.
The health ministry said Tuesday 26 people died of Ebola in a single day in Democratic Republic of Congo's North Kivu province, the highest daily toll since its outbreak nearly 9 months ago. The current outbreak is the second deadliest on record after the epidemic that struck West Africa in 2014 and 2016 and killed more than 11,300 people. The health ministry said it had counted 957 deaths in the country, of which 891 were confirmed cases and 66 suspected ones. The ministry said in a statement there were 26 deaths from confirmed cases on Sunday, April 28th, in the northeastern North Kivu province. It said of the total deaths of 957, 33 were health workers who had succumbed to the disease. The DR Congo declared a 10th outbreak of Ebola in 40 years last August in North Kivu before the virus spread into the neighboring Turi region. The epicenter was first located in the rural area of Magini, but then switched to the town of Beni. Local organizations say the number of Ebola deaths is rising, adding to the logistic hitches or a string of assaults on teams fighting the disease. Spokespersons from various UN agencies expressed their concerns about the current situation in northern Mozambique, which has been hit hard by Cyclone Kenneth. The storm made landfall late on Thursday in Cabo Delgado province, packing wind gusts of up to 220 kilometers per hour.
In Mozambique, the cyclone partially or fully destroyed nearly 35,000 houses and nearly 200 classrooms, leaving thousands without shelter and children without a school to go to. At least 14 health facilities have also been impacted.
More rain are expected in the coming days, which will worsen flooding, damage to roads, and render humanitarian access more challenging. In worst affected areas, people have lost everything, including their home and their assets, such as fisheries, which is the main livelihood on the coastline, coconut trees, which are valuable assets for us all.
Certainly the impacts of Kenneth, just as the impacts with Cyclone Idai, are intensified because of climate change and because of sea level rise.
Obviously, we are concerned about communicable diseases that may occur, especially about malaria and cholera. These zones are endemic. So obviously the
Heavy rain battered northern Mozambique on Monday as residents and relief workers confronted devastation wrought by Cyclone Kenneth, the strongest cyclone to ever hit Africa, which killed 38 people and destroyed thousands of homes. Roads have been washed away, fields submerged, and many buildings wrecked by the storm, which came weeks after Cyclone Ida struck the Mozambican city of Beira, 620 miles to the south. Cyclone Kenneth made landfall late on Thursday in Cabo Delgado province, packing wind gusts of up to 220 kilometers per hour. The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Efforts, or OCHA, described it as the strongest cyclone to ever lash the continent and predicted further heavy rain over the coming days. The UN agency said in the latest update, Cyclone Kenneth made landfall at the end of the rainy season, which river falls were already high, increasing the risk of river flooding. The humanitarian needs in Mozambique have skyrocketed, and the humanitarian response will need to rapidly scale up. According to the figures provided by the Mozambique authorities to NGOs, around 200,000 people in Pemba City, the capital of Cabo Delgado, are in danger. The National Institute of Disaster Management said 38 people have died, 39 have been injured, more than 23,000 people are without shelter, and nearly 35,000 homes have been either partly or completely destroyed. Before smashing into Mozambique, the cyclone hit the Comoros Islands, killing at least 3 people and damaging 75,000 homes. Warning that it could take weeks for the waters to rescind, officials said Monday more than 10,000 people have been evacuated from their homes in eastern Canada in recent days as spring floods broke record levels set in 2017. Meanwhile, an operation is underway to rescue pets from homes in the area that had to be abandoned during evacuations. Hardest hit was the town of St. Martha-sur-Lac, west of Montreal, where more than 6,000 people were forced to flee rising waters over the weekend after a natural dike was breached. Quebec Public Safety Minister Genevieve Guilbeault told a press conference flooding in the town is stabilizing, noting that construction of new gravel barriers was underway to keep waters at bay. She said water levels are falling and we hope that we can protect the area. About 9,000 people have been displaced in Quebec province, or twice the number in 2017, which had seen the region's worst flooding in a half-century. In the rush of flee to the rising water, scores of pets were abandoned. Eric Dassault, whose animal rescue network is spearheading the effort to find the marooned pets, said an emergency shelter has been set up and people were training in animal rescues and expertise in cat and dog behaviors have been sent door to door. He said they have a huge number of animals we need to evacuate. We're working with a list of hundreds of animals supplied by their owners.
Estimation, on serait environ à une trentaine d'animaux rapatriés au poste de commandement qui auraient récupéré leurs propriétaires. La seule chose que j'ai aussi au niveau des statistiques, c'est qu'on a 3 décès d'animaux confirmés.
About 40 animals were rescued since late Sunday, but the group was too late to save a dog, a guinea pig, and another unspecified animal believed to have drowned or died of hypothermia. Dassault said flooding is incredibly stressful on animals. In New Brunswick, more than 1,000 people have been forced from their homes. A handful also were evacuated in the capital, Ottawa. Several thousand soldiers have been deployed throughout Ontario, Quebec, and New Brunswick to help with evacuations and fill sandbags. Guilbeault said she expects there will be a break in rainfall, but added that waters are likely to take a long time to rescind.
C'est mes bébés, c'est mes enfants, pour moi. Alors, je suis contente. Au moins, j'ai retrouvé la maman. Là, il me reste la petite fille à trouver. Fait que, parce qu'elle est bien cachée. Je suis sûre.
When we come back, Church of Christ members in Edmonton donate blood. Eagle News, Washington, D.C. will return shortly.
Events happen around us all the time, in our community, in our country, around the world. Events that affect people, move communities, or simply inspire us. Interesting events that people need to know. In these interesting times, we continue to be a competent partner in delivering news about these events. Fast, accurate, balanced. Eagle News, because we live in interesting times.
What better way to get tan and spend time under the sun than with friends and family? Maligaya Summer Blast 2019, open to general public. Take a splash with its newest attraction, the Wave Swimming Pool. Tickets sold separately. Create perfect happy summer moments to look back to at the garden and many more. Build new friendships that will last forever at these fun CFO activities. Or scream your heart out with songs of summer of these cool bands. So don't forget the dates. May 4 to 5, 2019 at the Philippine Arena Complex, Bocaue, Bulacan. Put your sunblock and flip-flops on and make this summer unforgettable. Maligaya Summer Blast 2019. See you there!
This is Eagle News, Washington, D.C. I am Lynn Pence. In response to the constant need of blood supply, Church of Christ members in Edmonton rolled up their sleeves to save lives. Thomas Likeness with the details.
As the summer season approaches, the demand for blood increases, but blood donations tend to drop off as people go on vacation. To counter this, Canadian Blood Services has partnered with a number of companies, groups, and organizations to head off the shortage. One organization whose members rolled up their sleeves is the Church of Christ, or Iglesia Ni Cristo. At a recent blood drive in Edmonton, church members filed into a clinic to give the gift of life. Church spokesman Brother Paquito Abanez says helping out is a duty of all members.
It is our aim to help people, not only in anything that we could give as part of those who are in need, but more so our chance to show our love for our fellow men and also for our community.
Brother Abanez says their efforts are not just limited to the church community.
Well, no, it goes with everyone. As what was written in the Bible, if there are those who are in need, we're there to be of help. As part of being true Christians, we do give our help to everyone.
The blood collected here today could end up saving the lives of hundreds of people. Not only is the blood needed to treat traumatic injuries, but it's also required in surgeries, and some illnesses are treated with various blood components. Each unit of blood can help up to 3 people, but the shelf life for blood is short. The demand continues, so wherever you are, donate if you can. In Edmonton, Thomas I. Likeness, Eagle News, I'm 1 with 25.
Kudos to you, Thomas. That is today's Eagle News, Washington, D.C. Join us tomorrow for stories that matter to you. Visit our websites at eaglenews.ph and eaglenewslive.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/eaglenewsph. Thank you for watching. I am Lynn Pence, and I am 1 with 25.